Good afternoon. Thank you all for being here. It is my pleasure to join with all of you today and my colleagues in government for this plaque dedication for Dylan Thompson. Before we begin, I want to introduce some of the people that are here, beginning with Councilwoman Joan Sergel, Councilman Ed Smith, Receiver of Taxes Jillian Guthman. Regrets are sent on behalf of Councilman Eugene Cook, Kevin Orelli, our Superintendent of Highways, and Supervisor Lupinacci. We are joined today by Gloria Thompson, Dylan's mom, Paul and Jen Thompson, Dylan's dad, and his wife, and Dylan's stepmom, Teresa, who is Dylan's aunt, Ingrid, who is Dylan's aunt, Peter Lemaire, I'm sorry if I mispronounced your name, Peter, neighbor and friend of Dylan. Also, we have from the Citizens Advisory for Persons with Disabilities, Len Urban, Tom Mangan, the Commodore of the Greater Council of Huntington Yacht and Boating Clubs. That's always a mouthful. Jackie Martin, thank you for being here, Jackie. This is, a bittersweet day for all of us. At age 5, Dylan was diagnosed with Duchenne's muscular dystrophy. He did not let his disability define him. He was an artist, a huge sports fan, and a strong advocate for people with disabilities. At Harbor Fields, and we've all seen these wonderful pictures, he was the assistant basketball coach of the Harbor Fields varsity team and assistant football coach for the junior varsity team. Off the field, he was the #1 greatest Jets fan ever. Dylan wrote to the town board explaining that he loved the beach and the water. However, since he was confined to a motorized wheelchair, he could not get close to the water. He contacted the town board to ask about the possibility of purchasing the Moby mats that you see behind us, and he explained without them, he would not be able to get close to the water. Well, he did a great job pitching those to us. He explained that what they were and how they would be beneficial to people with disabilities, and it would make those type of wheelchairs accessible and be able to go over the sand and the water. The town has other wheelchairs with pneumatic tires, but that wouldn't fit the bill for someone with Dylan's condition. He stayed focused. He lobbied myself and Councilwoman Sergel particularly hard, and I was so proud to join with her, as I have on so many things, to sponsor this initiative. Dylan stayed focused. We ordered those mats. We did a press conference, and when we let him know in August that the mats were going to be installed, he was so excited. It was such a great day. I remember being there with Supervisor Lupinacci. Dylan asked if he could see them installed and be the first one to try the mats and have a picture that we'll all cherish taken with all of us. He said, I'm really excited to have the mats at the beach, and he was very grateful. And we have a picture from that day. It'd be good if we held it up the right way, which was very exciting and certainly a keepsake for us. And at that, I have to give Councilwoman Sergel credit, and I hope she talks about it more, but at that particular day, she asked him to join our committee for people with disabilities, and he was on there and a strong advocate in the time he could be, because of COVID, et cetera. And Dylan, I remember his quote from that was, I'm really grateful and happy that the town has listened to me making these mats available at 7 beaches. He also said these mats are going to really help people, not just disabled beachgoers like myself. It really makes us lucky to feel that we've been a part of this. Government really, in my experience, works best when we take the ideas of others, because there's so many good ideas out there, and we implement them. And this was one of those days when we did that, and it paid off for him. It will pay off for generations of people to come. He left a legacy as a smart and determined young man who overcame every obstacle he faced. We are grateful to have had an advocate like him, and we are so pleased to dedicate this bronze plaque to him today. Let me turn it over to Councilwoman Sergel.
Wow, that was a beautiful tribute to Dylan, and I can't add much more to it other than to just tell you how I felt when I was around Dylan. He had a light in his eyes. He had a light in his soul. And when you spoke to him, you didn't focus on his disability. You didn't even focus that he was in a wheelchair and he had all sorts of apparatus to help him. He was just a young man who had so much love and energy and desire to make a difference. And he put himself out there, and that after we had demonstrated the Moby mats, and I was so happy we did a video of that experience that I never imagined we would be sharing again when we learned of his passing. But it was so beautiful because you could see the excitement in his eyes, and we were so excited to be there to facilitate that for him. But it was his idea, his dream, and he learned how to advocate, and he learned how to get it done. And he was so ready to do some more. And so afterwards, when we were talking as people were leaving, and he said, "What can I do? What else can I do?" And that's when I invited him to join our Citizens for Persons with Disabilities. And he was just getting started. And I know he would have contributed so much more. He had ideas and energy and passion. And I just can't thank Councilman Cuthbertson for this plaque today. It's so fitting and deserving to make us remember each and every time we come to these beaches, we see these Moby mats, and that we will continue Dylan's dream and his legacy by making sure that those who have disabilities in our town are heard, and that we engage them and make sure that their dreams are made reality as well. I now am delighted to turn this over to my colleague, Councilman Edmund Smith.
Thank you, Councilwoman Sergel. Dylan truly did not let his disabilities define him, other than being a Jets fan, which is a chronic, heartbreaking affliction that many of us suffer, and it comes back every year, and I feel it coming on again this year. Every week it comes back, but he truly made the most of every day, and this plaque is a well-deserved dedication and honor for him and his family, and I want to thank you all for being here with us today, and thank Councilman Cuthbertson for putting this together. And with that, I'll turn it over to our receiver of taxes, Jillian Guthman. Nobody collects taxes better than Jillian does.
Thank you, and I appreciate that acknowledgement. I want to recognize Councilman Cuthbertson and Councilwoman Sergel for this initiative. Thank the Citizens Advisory Committee for People with Disabilities for partnering on so many topics that advance issues and quality of life concerns for people with disabilities. And thank you to the Thompson family and Dylan specifically for being that voice. What a difference one person can make. These mats will be impactful and will help not just people in wheelchairs, we'll have people with other mobility challenges, people with strollers, people that have a hard time walking, navigating the sand. When we help one, we help us all. So this is a wonderful moment. Thank you for the vision to get this done, and looking forward to easier access for all.
Thank you, Jillian. You know, it's funny, Gloria. When I look back, I feel like, albeit small, we were part of Dylan's life. We were at the house when all of the new construction took place, and how exciting that was the day that was unveiled. And then, of course, the Moby mats. So it gives me great pleasure to introduce Dylan's mom, Gloria.
Thank you all for being here. I'm going to read this because I'm not very... I want to thank the town of Huntington to honor my son Dylan with this memory plaque. I want to thank Mark Cuthbertson for all his help. Dylan loved this town and wanted to help ensure that everyone who lived and visited Huntington were able to enjoy the beauty of our beaches. He was so proud of his partnership with the town to increase access to our beaches for the disabled. I could not think of a better tribute to his life and spirit, and I thank you for honoring his memory today with this plaque. Thank you.
Thank you, Gloria. And now we'll hear from Dylan's dad, John.
Thank you very much. I want to thank the town board for honoring my son on this day with this beautiful plaque, something that will hopefully be there for a long, long time, as well as these wonderful mats that'll help so many. I grew up right up the hill here, and I thank my dad, who passed away only a short time ago, for bringing me up in this beautiful town, surrounded by all these beautiful waters and beaches and so forth. And I thankfully was able to share that love for this area with my kids. And on many occasions, I was thinking as I drove over here just now, we would come down here in the evenings after I worked, and we'd play on not these nice swing sets, but some like that. And we would watch the people on the beach and sometimes take a walk on the beach and maybe even take a swim in the water. We sailed out of the harbors here, and we enjoyed many, many hours and days of enjoyment, just loving this area. And again, I thank my dad for bringing me up in this beautiful area. And I think because of that carried down to my son and my children, Deanna as well. And so we really enjoyed every moment that we could here. And now to have it even more accessible and more available to those who really need it is really special. And again, I want to thank you all for being here today. It was really nice to see all of you. I'm kind of surprised and overwhelmed by the turnout, given I think it was kind of last minute planning. But it's wonderful, and I thank you all so much for being here, and thank you again to the board. And let's enjoy this plaque and this day and enjoy these mats. And thank you so much to all for coming today. Bye now.
And you can thank the people of the town of Huntington for those playground sets. We have a series of open space bond acts that we went to the voters, and they agreed, and that money gets spent, and it gets spent on wonderful things like that.
Representing the members of the Huntington Citizen Advisory Committee for Disabled, we met Dylan about a year ago when he joined our committee, totally enthusiastic, and unfortunately for us, we only were able to meet through Zoom because of the pandemic. But at our meetings, Dylan participated. He looked forward to things, and as a committee, we really we were so hurt when we heard that he passed away, because we saw him as being an active person for the disabled in the town of Huntington. And we truly appreciate having known him and what he's done for the town in the short time he was able to participate in our membership. Thank you.
I thank you all very much. I was a neighbor of Dylan's from the day I met him at 5, and he was running up and down the street, and he'd come down and visit, and we had a circle where neighborhood kids would all play basketball and stuff like that. And when it all started, we went from little braces on the legs to progression as this disease, horrible disease, progressed. And the thing I want everyone to understand, to realize, that disease never affected Dylan's heart, his mind, his love for people. If you had a bad day and you spent a half an hour with Dylan, you came away changed. Somehow, some way, he found a way to turn what you were thinking around to something else. And all I can say is he meant a lot to everyone and did so much in a short amount of time. I will personally be forever grateful. Thank you.
I couldn't think of a better way to cap this off. Thank you, Peter. And thank you all for being here.